Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk, back with a version of a box I haven't done for a little while, but I've actually adapted this box version to make it more of like a what I call a bishop's mitre for those of you in the UK, but it's just a really pretty kind of closure to the top of a box, really quite simple to do. What it does do is make the most of vellum, and our vellum is so strong, this Stampin' Up! Vellum, and this is such a pretty pack, and it actually comes with a mixed pack of vellum, these lovely sort of pinks, along with some designer series paper as well. So you've really got kind of lovely pinks and greens in there, and this coordinates with fresh fig. So what I'm going to do is make another one exactly the same as this. The ribbon I've used is actually not fresh fig, it's actually rich raspberry, but it just shows how, you know, actually the tone is such that it easily fits with this to make a lovely lovely finish. And that's actually on as part of our celebration offering. You can have that for free, or you can choose this stamp set here, part of my story, which is what I've used for the sentiment. And I've used another new product, which is this fabulous punch as well, which is a limited edition one at the moment. We don't know if it's popular, it may well carry over, but if you like it, go ahead and get it now. So lots of new stuff to show you, great sentiments in this part of my story stamp set, and you just get that from just spending £45 on any products, and this is just one of the items that you could choose as your freebie. So a very simple principle, just two strips of one strip of vellum, one strip of cardstock, and you're going to start off with some card, and we're going to cut. I've already cut the strips. What we need to do is just trim the length of them. So your strip of card is actually 2.5 inches wide, and that's the base of the box. It's 2.5 inches square, and you want to trim it to 11.5 inches. Obviously, if you're in America, you just use the same dimensions. I will convert it to centimetres for you as well, for those of you who prefer to work in centimetres. You're going to score the long edge very simply at 4.5 and 7 inches. Okay, so that's all your scoring on the card. Your vellum, again, I've already trimmed the length, so that's 3.5 inches wide, and you just need to trim that down to 11.5 inches on the length, because these are 12 by 12 sheets. And you're going to score on the long edge at 4.5. Now with vellum, you're going to be you just need to press down a little bit. 2 or 3 times is better than one really heavy time. 4.5 and 7 inches. And then you're going to score at 3 inches. And just flip it and score again at 3 inches. So in effect, you're scoring at the ½ inch mark, like so. So once you've done that, you need to get your paper snips, and of course mine have disappeared. Okay, I've got so many lights on here I can't see for looking. Okay, right, I have to use my other, there we go, snips. And what you're going to do is just cut at an angle here, and trim away. So again, so cut and cut at an angle, and then trim away that centre section. And at the top end here, just again, trim those. So you'll have a piece that looks like this, so hopefully you can see that, okay? No trimming to do on this, but what we are going to do is do some additional scoring. So I've cut a piece of card that's 1 3/4 inches wide, and you just need to pop that across the top of both ends. And score a triangle. So you just match the points. Don't let, there we go. And I'm using the fabulous Take Your Pick tool. So this has got a embossing tool on one end, and you've got your sticky part at the other end, your pickup bit. And do the same on this, so just line it between those two score lines. So it's not quite as easy to see, obviously, on the vellum. And then you're actually going to score down the middle of both of those sections. So just bring your trimmer back in. I should have done this before I trimmed, actually. So on this piece you're going to go at the 1 3/4 inch mark and just score down to the bottom of that point, and the same on the other end. See, I've scored down there, and the same on your cardstock, only this time you're lining it up at the 1 1/4 inch mark. Flip it round and 1 1/4 inch mark again, like so. And what that does is that enables you to create your points. So at this point, while the card is still not joined together, just make sure you really crease and reinforce those creases so they just fold together really nicely. And if you can put it on one side and just come in with your bone folder, that will just help the box later on. So do that on both ends. So again, just fold those with your fingers to start off with. The other side, you can just see reinforcing that, and that middle crease. It's a bit difficult to kind of show you on the video. Hopefully you can see that. And then we're just going to reinforce those at the bottom. So again, we're going to do the same on the vellum. That's just that little bit more malleable, so you can do it with your fingers. You don't want to risk tearing your vellum, because although our vellum is strong, obviously it's not hasn't got quite the fibres that card has, so it is more prone to kind of cracking than card. In fact, I've actually cracked that just a little bit. You can see that I've been a little bit firm, but because that's on the inside, it isn't going to matter. So just gently fold over those side pieces. And there we go. You'll see I'm just kind of rubbing those rather than really burnishing them hard. Now we're going to add some glue, and for this I'm going to use sticky tape, red tape, and I'm going to run that all the way up to the top there, and just angle it slightly at the top. And although I am going to stick it onto the middle, I shall cut those in separate sections because they'll be glued slightly different, not differently, slightly separately. So we want to, and just make sure you come up to the top corner. I haven't quite on that one. Okay, so next I'm going to add just 4 pieces of tape to the middle section. This is a really pretty box for adding a little bit of jewellery maybe. You might pop some tea lights in there, but just a pretty box that make a nice decorative gift for somebody. Okay, so I've put my tape on, and I'm just going to pop the red tape off there. And with the Just the flaps uppermost, so the vellum outside. You're just going to line that up with the middle section and glue that in place. And then we're going to glue each of our 4 sides. I'm just going to open those up slightly, ready to glue. And all you need to do is just line up on that edge there, right up to the top, and just repeat on all 4 sides. So you see there, by doing it that way and gluing the vellum to the card, you don't get anything showing through on this side at all. So the next thing we want to do is actually create our closure. And what I've done is I've punched diagonally through the 4 corners and then another couple of holes in the side as well. So I'm using, obviously whatever hole punch you want. Just don't come too close to the top, because obviously you're going to be putting a little bit of tension on that. So I'm just coming, so I think I'm coming in, I'll have to measure it. So I'm just coming down and punching on that seam. Again, just on the seam there. Like so. And then I'm going to punch a couple of holes, because as this closes, you're going to want a couple of holes in here as well. So just one either side of that score line. Well, I haven't done those very evenly, that was a bit useless. So that's our basic box, and obviously you're going to pop your gift in. And then I've kind of used around about, I cut about, I suppose about 16 inches of ribbon. And then all you need to do is these fold in like so at the top. And you'll see, because they're quite shallow, it sort of pushes the corner out. So, as you can see with the bow here, I'm coming in from the front here, and then you're just doing a in and out. So, out through the card and back in. Now, if you use a thinner ribbon, or it'll probably work slightly easier. I haven't got one. Actually, I probably had got a. Thinking about it, I've just realised that I have got some ribbon that matches. It would have probably been easier, narrower ribbon. But you know, hey, this thick ribbon is free at the moment, so hey, you've got to use your free stuff. And all you do is just push those bits of the box out as you gather it up together. And just keep feeding it through, like so. And then back to the side. And then out through the front. So just even those up before you draw it up. And as I go around, I'm just flattening that because I haven't actually got it very straight. You want to see that lovely velvet ribbon. So push it in all 4 together. Pull the ribbon through. And you see it just pulls together. Just tie it with a single loop like so, and then we just need to create our label. So for that, I've just used a scrap of Whisper White cardstock. A scrap, she says. And I've used one of the sentiments and some fresh fig ink. So I've just inked that up, stamp that on the edge, and then with our punch, just punch that out, and then we're going to trim it. So kind of keep it as square as you can, right in the middle. Yeah. And what I'm doing is trimming on the edge of those curves there, across there, there, and again on the fourth side. So it gives us a squared off label. I'm then going to use the same punch with a scrap of fresh fig and punch one of those out. I'll leave that complete, and all I've got is just got a bit of a makeup sponge dauber here. Use makeup sponge or sponge dauber, and I'm just inking just round the edge there. And we can just add that to our label, lining up with those little cut-out corners. Punch a hole in the one end, just being careful that you don't punch into your sentiment. And all that remains is to pop that on the top there. Tie your bow. Just pop that so that it lies flat. With the ribbon you just need to kind of fold it so that the velvet is on the outside. And there you have a pretty mitre topped gift box ready to add your gift. So there we go. It's an unusual top closure, just a bit of fun. I could have probably tightened that a little bit more just to keep it a little bit closer together. But I hope you have, oh God, you can't even see that. I hope you have fun making it. Hopefully you can see the top there. Just pull it a little bit closed and come back and see me again soon. Enjoy, and don't forget it's Celebration, so for every £45 you get something for free, and there's a whole range of things to choose from, including this gorgeous ribbon and that lovely stamp set. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me soon, and visit my blog flutterbyheidi.co.uk for links to all of the products. Bye now.